Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Lugness Monster, and today we're going over the worst to first Star Wars The Black Series Stormtroopers. Now, I did already do an original list of this a few years ago, so if you want to go check that one out, it will be pinned in the card and linked in the description. But like I said, it has been a few years, so this is a very updated list, and I did include a few other types of figures that I didn't include last time. But yeah, this list does include a total of 59 Stormtroopers. Please let me know if I missed anything, but there are a few different types left out on purpose. For example, any Bad Batch Imperial figure I did leave out. While it is Imperial, it's still cloned, so I don't count it as a Stormtrooper. And then same with Imperial officers. Anything Imperial officer I didn't count, so that's officers like Imperial, like the Death Star troopers, stuff like that. I just counted those as officers and will be included in a separate worst to first video. But this one is purely Stormtroopers, so anything that has a helmet like that. So Imperial Royal Guards I did count as Stormtroopers because they do wear helmets. And then I also did include something else that I didn't include in the first one, and that is any like hero in disguise, so like a Luke or a Han in Stormtrooper disguise. I also included on the list just because if you throw on the helmet, it's basically a normal Stormtrooper, so I did decide to put those on the list as well. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the number 59 spot. And real quick, I do want to say that this is my personal opinion, so if you don't agree, that's alright. Just let me know what you would have changed in the comments down below. And also know that I'm going to go through these pretty quickly because this is like 59 on the list, which means there's a ton of numbers and we want to get through it as quick as possible. Coming in at the number 61 and 60 spot, I gave it to, of course, the worst Stormtroopers in the line, and that is the Carbonized Shore Trooper and Scout Trooper. Both are horrible. I'm not a big fan of Carbonized to begin with, but these are just the worst of the worst, and I do not like them. Coming in at the number 59 through 56 spot, the first four figures I did give to the Imperial Holiday figures. Now, these are cool figures, they're just not really for me, so I did decide to put them at the last. They're just all holiday decorated, and they just don't do much for me, so I decided to put them last on the list. Coming in at the number 55 spot, I gave it to the Range Trooper from, of course, the movie Solo. This is an interesting figure for me. It just looks kind of bulky and a little wacky. It's not my favorite trooper at all, so I did decide to put it a little bit lower on the list. Coming in at the number 54 spot, it is the Carbonized Stormtrooper. This is just a shiny silver Stormtrooper. Pretty cool in the whole idea of it, but I do think that it's just not the best. I think if we're going to get a Carbonized Stormtrooper, it should have been chrome colored rather than like silver, and because of that I did put it like pretty low on the list. It's cool in idea, but it's not the best compared to some of the other Carbonized figures that we did get. And then the 53 spot goes to the Red Stormtrooper from the Entertainment Earth 4-pack. Cool idea. I think this one looks incredible, but it's not really based off of any prevalent media. I'm not really sure if this is even a canon trooper, to be honest. So because of that, it is pretty low. It's not based off of anything, and so since it's just kind of a red Stormtrooper with zero meaning, I did decide to put it a little bit lower. And then coming in at the number 52 spot, it is the Remnant Stormtrooper, which is a Target exclusive. Now, this is on the new Stormtrooper body, which is really awesome. I do love that new Stormtrooper body. That does save this figure a little bit, but to be honest, this figure is horrible when it comes to the weathering. The entire point of a Remnant Stormtrooper is supposed to look weathered and damaged, and this one just looks incredibly bad. Doesn't look anything like what it should, and so it just looks like a burnt marshmallow to me, and I do not like it. And so because of that, it is very low on the list. 51 goes to the Imperial Senate Guard, which is actually a Gaming Greats figure, a part of the video game The Force Unleashed. Now, this is one of my favorite video games of all time, and I actually really do love this trooper in the game, but the figure itself is just really inaccurate. They just repainted the like normal Senate Guard like blue rather than red, and because of that, it's just inaccurate. The actual one in the game has like Stormtrooper armor, and they look nothing alike, so because of that, this one's pretty low, just for inaccuracy. Breaking the top 50 now, we do have Konar Jax, also known as Kurkanos. They just messed up the name on the figure. They gave him the wrong name. Really weird. That does, of course, deduct some points, but I just don't have any attachment to this figure. I think it looks incredible. Awesome, like, metallic purple inside of the cape. But I haven't read the comic that this one is from, so I put it pretty low just because I have no personal connection to the character at all. I don't know who he is or what he does. So because of that, he's pretty low on the list. At the number 49 and the 48 spot, we do have the Imperial hover tank pilot and the AT-ACT driver. Both are very similar, but we never really see either of them in the movie. They're both from Rogue One. We barely see them. One has a unique helmet, and the other one just is a repainted shore trooper, and both look pretty cool, but I just think that the AT-ACT driver, the repainted shore trooper, looks much better, so he does get the higher spot. The number 47 and 46 spot go to the Migs Mayfield and Din Djarin in their Stormtrooper disguises from that episode of The Mandalorian. Pretty cool outfits, but they're not super special in my opinion. I think they look cool, but the real reason you're buying these is for the actual heroes underneath. And both look pretty good. We haven't got the Din Djarin released yet, but I decided to include it on the list just basically because it's the exact same thing as Migs Mayfield with a different head, which we can see from the images. So yeah, both are pretty cool, but not my favorites. The number 55 spot and 54 spot both go to the Imperial Jump Troopers. One is a Gaming Greats and one is a mainline red box release, but both are pretty cool. I do love the design of the Jump Trooper. The mainline one does have the orange pauldron, and the Gaming Greats one just has the white one, so both are pretty cool, but I do think that the red pauldron one is cooler. I guess the orange one, whatever you want to call it. So that one is a little bit higher up on the list. Coming in at the number 53, 52, and 51 spots are the 3 Black Series TIE pilots that we do have in the line. That does include the standard blue box release, the Entertainment Earth exclusive release, which does have a little bit of a silver stripe on the helmet, and then the, of course, Inferno Squad agent. All three are pretty cool. I do think the Inferno Squad agent gets the top number just because it is a little bit cooler in my opinion than all the other ones. But yeah, I'm a big TIE pilot fan, but it's just not as good as some of the other troopers on the list. Coming in at the number 40 through the 38 spot, we do have the Han and Luke in their Stormtrooper disguises. So the two original ones are at the number 40 and 39 spot. And then at the number 38 spot is actually the Luke in disguise, but the second release of this figure actually had a weathered look with like matted down hair to reflect the fact after he gets like pulled into the trash compactor under the water, he's all dirty and his hair is wet, and so they actually made it a figure specifically for that, which I think is pretty cool. The weathering's nice, and then like the wet hair is pretty nice as well, so I did decide to give that a spot higher on the list. Number 37 does go to the original Stormtrooper. This one is a great figure. It's the classic Stormtrooper we've had for so long in the Black Series. For what, almost, it was introduced in 2013, so it would have been 7 years we had it in the line. And it's a pretty good Stormtrooper for the time, but we did get an updated one in 2020, and now this old body is just inferior. And so because of that, it is a little bit lower on the list. Number 36 goes to the AT-AT driver, one of my personal favorite all-time Stormtrooper designs. And then number 35 goes to the Imperial Patrol Trooper, definitely the best designed Stormtrooper from Solo. And then at the number 34 spot, I give it to Deluxe Stormtrooper with Blast accessories. This one is a pretty cool idea, something we haven't really seen in the Black Series, and this is the only time we ever really saw it. It does come with a blast effect for the blaster, as well as explosions, which I think is super cool, and even its own classic Star Wars stand. So yeah, pretty cool figure, but it's really only that cool because of the accessories. Coming in at the number 33 spot, it is the Flame Trooper, part of the Gaming Greats line, from the video game Jedi Fallen Order. This is one of my favorite trooper designs. It looks incredible. I love how it looks. Problem is, it just doesn't come with a flamethrower effect for the flamethrower. It's like a flame trooper, but with no flames. Coming in the number 32 and the 31 spot, I did give it to the Imperial Emperor's Royal Guard, and then the Shadow Royal Guard. Both are pretty cool, but I did give the normal standard Imperial Guard a spot above the Shadow Guard, just because I'm not really sure what the Shadow Guard is from. I'm sure it's from some sort of media. I don't know if it's a video game or a comic, but I just have zero attachment to it. I think it looks incredible, but I do think that the Royal Guard is a classic from Return of the Jedi. Everybody knows him and everybody loves him. The number 30 and the number 29 spot, I gave it to the standard Death Trooper and the Death Trooper with the Pauldron from the Rogue One 3-pack. Both are really awesome. I remember seeing Rogue One in theaters and just absolutely loving the design of the Death Troopers. They're intimidating, and I cannot love them more. And then, of course, I do love the one with the Pauldron as well. This one was, exclusive to a 3-pack, which does suck, but it still looks incredible, and I love the look of it. Then coming in at the number 28 spot and the number 27 spot, we do have the standard Red Pauldron Purge Trooper and then the Electro Staff Purge Trooper. Both are super cool, and I do love both of them. I'm a huge fan of the Purge Troopers, and I'm a huge fan of Fallen Order, but I had to give the Red Pauldron the upper spot just because I love the splash of red that Red Pauldron Purge Trooper does have. And then also with the Electro Staff just sucks, and the little electric bits fall off, and it makes it really frustrating to try to pose the figure. So I love them both, but the Red Pauldron Purge Trooper is just slightly better. Coming in at the number 26, 25, and 24 spot, we do have the 3 iterations of the Scarif Stormtrooper or the Shore Trooper. All 3 of these figures are incredible. I absolutely love the design of the Shore Trooper, one of my favorite Stormtrooper designs of all time. We do have the original one, which is alright, it's kind of bland. Up next, we do have the Andor one, which is a little bit better. It does have a nice, like, white stripe on it and an individual blaster, which is pretty cool. But I think the best one out of all these 3 is the mainline
I absolutely
Shore Trooper
love
Captain. The blue, like, splash of color on it, and I think it's by far the best one out of the Shore Troopers. In the number 23 spot, we do have the classic throwback to Empire Strikes Back Snow Trooper, one of my favorite troopers of all time. It looks incredible, and I can't complain. It looks great. At the number 22 and 21 spot, we do have the Shadow Stormtrooper 2-pack, which does have the Shadow Scout Trooper and the Shadow Stormtrooper Commander. Both look incredible, and yeah, they're just blacked out versions of already incredible looking Stormtroopers, so yeah, they look awesome. Coming in at the number 20 spot and the 19th spot, finally breaking the top 20, we do have the original Scout Trooper and the Remnant Scout Trooper. The Remnant Scout Trooper is with the speeder bike and Scout Trooper 2-pack, but yeah, they both look incredible. I'm a big Scout Trooper fan, and I do love the weathering that they added to the Remnant Scout Trooper. That is how you do a correct Remnant figure, unlike the original Remnant Stormtrooper. That one is horrible. This one they did right, and it looks incredible. Coming in at number 18, I gave it to the Walmart exclusive Shock Trooper. This is a figure from Battlefront 2015, and personally, Battlefront 2015 is one of my favorite games of all time, so maybe this one got higher up on the list just because it has a little bit of nostalgia for me, but I absolutely love this figure. It looks incredible. I love the red color, and yeah, it deserves the 18th spot. Between the number 17 spot and the 14th spot, we do have the 4 iterations of the Black Series Sand Troopers. We do have the Black Pauldron, the White Pauldron on the dewback, and of course the classic Orange Pauldron. All 4 of these guys are incredible. Some of the best Black Series Stormtroopers we've ever gotten. The weathering is good, articulation is great, helmet sculpt is great, and overall, they are just some of the best Stormtroopers we've ever gotten. Coming at the number 13 and the 12 spot, we do have the 2 versions of the Gaming Greats Scout Troopers from Fallen Order, and they look great. I love the extra accessories they have with the battery pack and the riot baton. They look great, and then the newer version actually has a shield as well, which is super cool. Coming in at the number 11 spot, I gave it to the Mimban Stormtrooper. I think this one is pretty explanatory, but it's a camo Stormtrooper. I think it looks awesome. Finally, breaking the top 10, we do have Sergeant Creel. This figure is a Stormtrooper with a lightsaber. Awesome concept, and I absolutely love it. And plus, it is one of the first figures on that new Stormtrooper body, which I absolutely love. So it's got to get the number 10 spot. Coming at number 9, I had to give it to the Stormtrooper Commander, part of the Gaming Greats line. This one also might just be a little bit of nostalgia because it is from the game Force Unleashed, but I absolutely love the blue color scheme. It looks incredible, and of course, that blue box as well. You can't beat it. Coming in at the number 8 spot, we do have the Purge Trooper from Kenobi. This one is a big upgrade in my opinion. I absolutely love the extra splashes of red. It makes a lot and just adds a lot to the color scheme. And then it is on that clone body, which means it has great articulation as well, which is super cool. Coming in the number 7 spot, this one might be a little controversial, but I gave it to the Rocket Stormtrooper from Jedi Fallen Order. This one definitely gets a lot of credit just because it's on that new Stormtrooper body, which I incredibly love. But then it also does have a red pauldron, which I think gives just enough of a splash of color to really put it in the top 10. Coming in at the number 6 spot is the George Lucas Disguised Trooper. Now again, this one is just that new Stormtrooper body, which I love. It's such a huge improvement compared to the old one, and again, because of that, that's why a lot of these figures are higher up on the list. George Lucas is a little bit lower compared to some of the other ones, though, just because it does have problems with the helmet going on and off and scratching George Lucas's face. Coming in at the number 5 and 4 spot, I gave it to the Mortar or Artillery Trooper and the Incinerator Trooper, both from The Mandalorian. I love the splash of color that this brings to the new Stormtrooper body. I love the like maroonish burgundy color, and I love the yellow mustard color. It looks great on these troopers, and both come with great accessories. The Incinerator Trooper comes with his flamethrower, and the Mortar Trooper does come with his mortar and even a ton of mortar rounds, which is incredible. Both come with great accessories and just look good on that new Stormtrooper body. Coming in at the number 3 spot, I 100% had to give it to the Stormtrooper just from The Mandalorian. It's classic, it is that brand new mold, and it was a figure that introduced that brand new mold. But like again, it's just that classic white Stormtrooper. Everybody knows it, it's iconic, and I gotta give it the number 3 spot. Coming in at the number 2 spot is the Jedha Patrol Trooper. Now this is basically the standard white Stormtrooper, but with a pauldron and a backpack. The backpack is removable, which is pretty cool because then you just get that standard orange pauldron. So because of that, I gave it number 2 because I think it is slightly better than that Mando Stormtrooper. And then coming in at the number 1 spot, I had to give it to the Shadow Stormtrooper, which is a Gaming Greats figure. This figure is one of my favorite figures of all time. It has that nice gunmetal gray color with the light blue accents. It just looks incredible. Even some of the figure is translucent, and plus it does have that nostalgia to the original Force Unleashed video game. So for that, it gets the number 1 spot. If you guys did enjoy, the like button and subscribe, and let me know what you guys would rank worst to first and what you guys would change with my list, and I'll see you guys in the next video.